Hello and welcome to your geography class. I'm your geography teacher Sukhdeep Kaur. Today we are going to start a chapter number 3 that is about the drainage system of India. What do you consider the term drainage for? Drainage for the drainage system, either consider drainage or drainage system. What exactly we want to consider is about the river system of our nation. So we are going to talk about and discuss about the drainage system of India. Although India is a land of geographical diversity, we do have various features, prominent features that we have already discussed in our chapter number 2. Physical features of India? Yes. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about the sources that are available, water resources that are available. I won't consider them in abundance, but yes, we do have the availability of water, particularly in the northern India, northern part of India. For that part, we do have 3 major rivers and the drainage system of South India. If you talk about that, that comprises 6 major rivers. So, an entire class of this chapter number 3rd, we are going to discuss these prominent topics in the individual classes or collectively. That depends on. So, particularly in today's class, we are going to discuss about drainage system in India. So, in whole, the major rivers and some prominent terms related to the drainage system of India. Then we will continue with the second class with the discussion of Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. And of course, in upcoming class to that, we will discuss about the role of rivers and river pollution. Or it can be inculcated also. Again, it depends on. So, for now, we have to focus on the drainage system in India topic itself. So, starting with that, the drainage word itself, the river system of an area, and area in here we are talking about is India subcontinent. So, the river system of an area is known as drainage. Small streams are particularly the passages of water, narrow small passages of water. When they combine in a particular water body, that forms a river. So, small streams merge, they mix to form a main river that drains. Drains in here we are not talking about to drain the water of the washing machine or to drain the water of anything particular. In here, if we are talking about the word drain, that means it flows. So, we are talking about the term flow. So, the rivers flow into that entire region and provides the water as per the necessity and the requirement itself. So, the small streams merge to form the main river that drains into a large water body. Now, this particular concern of drains into a large water body states, no matter we are talking about the drainage system of North India or South India, particularly we are talking about the drainage. So, that drainage or the flow of the particular river leads to its outlet into the open water body. Likewise, seas and oceans. For example, lake, sea or ocean. Prominently, rivers give their water outlet in the open large water bodies, likewise sea and ocean. Lakes can be there, it depends on the circumstances, the prevailing conditions of that region. Now, as I was stating that we will discuss few terms also related to the drainage itself. So, here are the 2 terms and of course, we will be having a bit more. So, what is drainage basin? The area that is drained by a single river system. It means a single river flows in an entire area comprising its various other features likewise tributaries and distributaries. That what calls for drainage basin. So, these rivers form these basins. River system, a river along with its tributaries. So, in the system, tributaries, distributaries, both of them come, and in the basin, entire area, entire region drained by a single river that forms its tributaries, distributaries comes along in that because system cannot be separated from the basin part. Then another topic is of water divide. What is water divide? So, an elevated means uplifted area. We can't say highlighted area. Uplifted means it can be in any elevated land, mountains, hills, it can be any. So, any elevated area, likewise an upland separates 2 drainage basins. In this image, you can easily recognize what I want to state. Stream A and stream B. Sometimes, just for an example, a single river passage is there or river is draining a particular area, and due to the sudden occurrence of any upland, the water or the passage of the water or the drainage divides into two parts. So, water divide. That were about the specific terms of the chapter drainage system of India. Now, we are going to talk about the particular topic itself, whatever the divisions are there and what the rivers are involved in the particular types of systems of drainage in India. Here is a bit of information as we are talking about the drainage basin and drainage system of India. So we can't ignore India's largest, world's largest itself. So world's largest drainage basin is Amazon River Basin, constructed by the Amazon River itself. Now, if I'm using the word constructed, so I'm not talking about any human interference. So it is naturally constructed by the flow of the river Amazon. Now talking about the India's largest basin, so Ganga River forms the India's largest river basin, and it's somewhat geographical books itself. It is also considered as Ganga Brahmaputra basin as well. And one of the largest basins of the world is Ganga Brahmaputra basin. So these two particular rivers, but in here, why aren't we considering the Brahmaputra? Because Ganga originates from the northern part, not to be northeast, but yes, northern part of India, and the Brahmaputra originates from the eastern part of India. So that's a concern. We are not naming them together over here. Drainage system in India. Now the formal introduction to the topic. So India's drainage system are shaped by the broad relief feature. Relief feature also known as physical features, topography, geographical features. So these are the synonyms. So wherever the passage will be there for the river will start flowing from that particular area. Now that depends on these relief features. If the features are plains, it can flow easily. It won't be having that great speed as it does have at mountains when it is on the way to come down. How it comes down, we are going to discuss that part also. So India's drainage system are shaped by the relief features of India that are present in India. Accordingly, the Indian rivers are divided into, so whatever relief features are giving the way passage to the Indian drainage system. On that basis, Indian drainage system is divided into two parts: Himalayan river system or Himalayan rivers, and the peninsular river systems as peninsular rivers itself. Going ahead with the same topic itself, Himalayan and peninsular. So peninsular, need not to forget, and I should not even recall it for you, as we are talking about in the terms of peninsular rivers, the rivers that are present in the peninsular part of India, that is southern India. Himalayan rivers or Himalayans in the northern part of India. So Himalayan rivers divide, although India is naturally divided by the occurrence of Tropic of Cancer, although it is not virtually present, the fact is that it is an imaginary line, but still India is divided by the Tropic of Cancer in two parts. So the northern part comprises Himalayan river system and the southern part comprises peninsular rivers. So these rivers are different from each other in many ways. First, differences of North and South India itself I have stated, and there are several others that we have to discuss. They originate. So they are originating from not a particular place, and the history is with us. They originating from the two major physiographic regions of India. So in here, peninsular rivers originate, of course, all the rivers originate from hills or mountains itself. But we have the contrasting elevation, whether we are talking about mountains or hills. Himalayas are the loftiest mountains of the world and to be considered young one itself. So they must be comprising more and more glaciers and the features in the terms of ice that provides water to any river throughout the year. So another important feature and the differentiation between both of them is the source of water of Himalayan river are the glaciers, and over here the source of water of the peninsular rivers are the rainfall, monsoon. More the rainfall, more will be the water flow in the peninsular rivers. Lesser will be the rainfall, lesser will be the water flow in the peninsular rivers. Now, officially Himalayan rivers. Most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial. Very important point. And the third point to be considered for the differentiation part. You must be wondering why I am laying emphasis onto the differentiation. Because this is the most important question and the only can't be considered. But yes, one of the most important long questions of this chapter that comes from this chapter, that differentiate between the Himalayan drainage system or Himalayan river system and peninsular drainage system or peninsular river system. So for that part, question can come for 5 marks also. So this is the third point I am giving you over here. Himalayan rivers are perennial. It means they do have water throughout the year and they do provide water throughout the year. To whom? Of course, to the area from wherever they are flowing. And talking about the peninsular river system, they are not perennial, they are seasonal. As I've just told you, if the rainfall will be good, the water flow will be good, and if the rainfall is less, water flow will be less. So these are perennial, those are seasonal. They have water throughout the year and they receive water from rain, melted snow. Melted snow means we are talking about glaciers, and glaciers are present on the lofty mountain peaks, high mountain peaks we are talking about, because elevation will be great at that height. What is the average height of Himalayas? We have discussed in the last chapter. Average height is 6,000 meters. So quite a good height for the presence of huge number of glaciers over there. Two major Himalayan rivers originate from the north of the mountains. So these are Indus and Brahmaputra. They have cut through the mountains making gorges. Although the name is given collectively, but one is originating from the extreme north, not the northwest, northern part, and one is originating and actually entering India from the eastern part. So one river enters India in the north part, that is Indus through Ladakh region, and the Brahmaputra is the river that enters India from the Arunachal Pradesh, easternmost extension of India. They have cut through the mountains making gorges and then entering the India subcontinent. They have long courses, passage, journey. Journey in the terms, Ganga is the largest river of India, having 25 kilometers of stretch. Its length is 2500 kilometers. So that what calls for courses. From their source to the sea. So we are going to discuss about the different type of courses since originating till they are exiting, or they are giving the outlet of their water into the sea or in the ocean part. In the upper course, told you there are three courses: upper course, middle course, lower course. We are not talking about the particular flow or course of the Himalayan river system only. In general, we are talking about that from wherever the rivers do originate and wherever they give the outlet of their water throughout their journey, since origin, since outlet, they do cross three phases. Yes, they do have their ages as well. So it is also to be considered upper course and to be considered for the youth age also. Youth, they are beginning. So in the upper course, they perform intensive, extreme erosional activity. Why so? And what is erosional activity? When the degradation of any particular object or thing occurs. So in here we are talking about the decomposition or disintegration. We are talking about the disintegration of the uppermost layer of the rocks. They get affected with the flow of the water and of course with the temperature as well. So but the particular concern over here is, as the rivers are originating from the peak of the mountains, so as they are on their journey to come down, they do tumble on their entire journey while eroding and scrubbing with each other. They do disintegrate to jana. So they do perform intense erosional activity, and that is how the formation of soil take place. They carry huge loads of silt and sand. So silt and sand, they are the particular features of the soil itself. Now the ratio may vary. In the middle and lower course, they do form different land shapes as in meanders, oxbow lakes, then many other depositional features in their floodplains. They also have well-developed deltas. So we do have particularly 4 features over here with us: meanders, oxbow lakes, floodplains, and the deltas. And here is the image given for the entire course of a river and whatever landforms or land shapes does it forms throughout its passage, throughout its course, starting from the origin point until it's giving its outlet to the water. So over here you can see this feature. Small triangular shapes, kind of roughly, but kind of triangles. These are the deltas. So deltas are formed at the mouth of any particular river, wherever the river is giving its outlet to the water body. So there is no further narrow passage, confined passage for the flow of the water as it is going to meet the open water body. So in the rush to meet the open water body, there are no confined areas, so it's spread up, and in this pattern of spreading up, it forms a delta. Now talking from the beginning itself, sources of water from the peaks, glaciers of the mountain. Upper course, erosional activity is on the prime. Talking about the middle course, so there forms in the middle and the lower. Collectively 4 features are with us. These are the meanders. What are meanders? Likewise, this is the passage of any river. So these, also known as loops, curves. So these curves are known as meanders. Oxbow Lake, you have already read them in your 7th and 8th class particularly. So here I am not going to give the entire detail of them, just briefing them. So Oxbow Lake forms from the meanders itself. Again, certain process is involved, and at the lower course it forms the delta. So this is the description of the entire course of any river from the origin till the outlet of the water. Peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers, the rivers present in southern India. So they are seasonal. Remember, I've given you the third point of difference. Okay, yeah, I was telling you that 5 points. What if this question is coming of differentiation for 5 points? So 3 points I have already given you. For the 4th point, you can give the examples of the rivers. Although, and for the 5th point, we have to figure out. Flow is dependent on rainfall, that is why they are seasonal, and during the dry season, even the large river reduces their water flow because it's the dry season or the rainfall occurrence was less. So due to that, water capacity or the availability of water will be less itself. So have shorter. So 5th point I was talking about here is, so the 3 major rivers are involved in the Himalayan river system. Ganga is also there, but we haven't discussed over there because it is the river that is not originating any particular source out of India. It is originating in India itself, where the 2 important rivers merge in the Indian territory itself. So that calls for a different and important discussion of that river. So Ganga will be discussed in the upcoming class itself. For now, these basic rivers. So the Himalayan rivers have longer courses, or they are longer as compared to the peninsular rivers. So peninsular rivers are shorter and shallower. Another point in the 5th point itself, or you can add up one more as the 6th point. So the Himalayan river system, or the rivers, particularly Indus, Brahmaputra and Ganga also, they are deep rivers. These are shallower. They are compared to the Himalayan rivers. Then most of them originated in the Western Ghats. Told you, mountains or hills are required for the occurrence or for the origin source of any either or type of river, whether Himalayan or peninsular. So the peninsular river originates from particularly Western Ghats and they flow towards the Bay of Bengal. But either or rivers flows into the Arabian Sea as well. We are going to discuss entire process, don't worry. So some of them originates in the Central Highlands also, and their particular flow is towards the Arabian Sea. 4 rivers give their outlet of water into the Bay of Bengal, and 2 rivers give their water outlet into the Arabian Sea. So altogether there are 6 important rivers in the peninsular river system or drainage system. Should I give the names also? Here are the names. So these are Narmada, Tapi. They originate from the Central Highlands and give or drain their water in the Arabian Sea, so and flow towards the west, that is Arabian Sea. So Narmada Tapi gone towards the Arabian Sea, 4 rivers remaining. So they are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, 6 rivers. So these other, the Kaveri, Krishna, Mahanadi and Godavari, they give their water flow into the Bay of Bengal. So that was all about the to be considered as the recognition of the features, some of the features of the Himalayan and Peninsular river system. So on that note, we can consider the today's learning outcome this also, that we have discussed about the concept of drainage system or drainage itself in the terms of India. Along with that, we have discussed about recognition of the prominent features of Himalayan river system and the Peninsular river system. It's the time to recall today's class as in whatever we have discussed with the help of 3 MCQs. Here is the first one. India's largest river basin is the Ganga river basin. We have all the information in our class, whatever we have the written part on my left side. Second question, which direction do most peninsular rivers flow? Most means major 6. So 4 are flowing in one direction, that is towards the Bay of Bengal, and 2 are flowing in the opposite direction, that is towards the Arabian Sea. So major vote goes for 4. So our answer will be towards Bay of Bengal, because we are talking about most peninsular rivers flow. Next question, that is the last one for the class as well. So which major river system of India flows westward into the Arabian Sea? Remember, I have just given you the name. So if you are unable to recall, I am here for the help. So there is your answer. Ganga, the Himalayan river system, Brahmaputra, Himalayan river system, although Mahanadi belongs to the Peninsular river system itself, but it flows towards the Bay of Bengal. So that was all about today's class. This chapter is quite interesting, but the thing is, unless you are not trying to develop your interest in the class, I am trying my best potential, to inculcate your interest, or, to at least develop the interest towards this geography class in this particular chapter. Hope I am working on a good pace. So see you soon with that good pace itself in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.